Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about this question that I got on one of my videos that I think is a fantastic question and I want to address. So this person is new to rowing and thinking maybe rowing isn't as healthy as they thought because they stumbled across my videos, glad that you're here, and saw that I talk a lot about injury prevention and I also talk about injuries and the rowing machine. So I'm going to chat about why that is a little bit, but also they're curious, is it from people getting injured from overtraining? Is it because of not having proper form? What are some of those reasons and what's the prevalence of injuries with rowing? So let's dive into it. Okay, so to start, I am a physical therapist, which means I see a lot of people when they are injured. People come because they hurt themselves and they want to get back to doing what they were doing. That is a big part of being a physical therapist. There's also the prevention side where people don't want to get hurt, so they come asking for expertise and tips to not get injured when they start doing something. That is why my videos are pretty much along that spectrum, because since I am in the physical therapy world, I see a lot of injuries, which unfortunately means this channel is kind of full of them. But part of the reason that I started this is there is not a lot of information for rowers out there to help with prevention, to help with if you are injured, how do you get back to rowing? There's just not a ton of us who do rowing and are physical therapists. Now, doing this channel, I have met a lot of others across the country. I've even met one or two people overseas, which is amazing to know that there are some of us, but we're still a really small niche. And if you think about rowing, it's kind of like a club. It's a smaller niche. And since rowing is getting bigger with indoor rowing machines and showing up in a lot of places besides just rowing on the water, on crew teams and clubs, it's becoming more well known, but there's still a small set of people that actually know a lot about rowing and really have trained it, have lived it, and love it. So that is part of the reason that this channel is basically showing you that. So I am sorry if I have made you feel like this is not a safe sport. So right off the bat, I want to say, really rowing is just like any other sport. Rowing on the water is actually an Olympic level sport, which means it does take some finessing, it takes some practice, and it takes a lot of skill to row. However, if we look at really any sport, football, basketball, hockey, it doesn't matter. We're always going to have people who are injured and people who aren't. And if we're going to learn about something, we might stumble across both of those. Now, because there's not so much information on rowing out there, maybe you stumbled across mine where I want to teach you to row so you don't get hurt, because I love the preventative aspect of physical therapy more than I like helping you get back to it when you're already injured. Now, that being said, I can help you with both, and that is why I do this. But I love it when we can really stop something from happening. And I'm sure you do too, because no one wants to get hurt. But if we just look at any sport, essentially, there's always going to be that aspect. If you get into a tunnel vision way or a channel that is all about getting hurt in a certain sport, that's what you're gonna see. And then if you go looking for like workouts, you might just see workouts, things like that. So really, rowing's just like any other sport, except because it's become so popular with just the rowing machine, and there's not a lot of people who really know it, there's not a lot of people to help you train and do it well. And that's part of where I come in and a lot of other indoor rowing channels, which is amazing and why YouTube is absolutely amazing, because we can all help each other and you don't need to have an expert in your area. Although sometimes there are experts in your area. Okay, so now that that's out of the way, let's talk about how prevalent are injuries. Now, a lot of the research that is out there is actually done on rowing on the water, not necessarily the indoor rowing machine. However, I did just find a new review that does incorporate some more information from indoor rowing and brings it together with rowing on the water as well. Now, I can't give you an exact percentage of people that get injured, since we actually don't even know how many people use the indoor rowing machine. But in a recent study by Thornton et al., essentially what they found is 2 to 53% of injuries from rowing, and again, rowing on the water and a little bit of rowing on the machine, are low back pain related, which is why I have a lot of stuff on back pain and I'm finishing up a series on that. And then comes rib injuries, knee injuries, wrists and hand and elbow type of injuries. Those are usually the most common types of injuries. So that being said, what most of the research actually finds is that a huge percentage of this is a mix of overtraining and form. So in your question, you kind of nailed it on the head. It's both of them. Now, when it comes to rowing, we just get a rowing machine, we look at it, or we jump into an Orange Theory fitness class or another class, or we jump on it at the gym, and it looks easy. We can sit down, we can move, it's low impact. Great, it's the perfect exercise, right? The problem is, remember, it is an Olympic sport, and this machine correlates and tries to mimic a movement that we do in a boat, in a shell, on the water. So when we jump on and we just move, we don't have training, we're just going. It's kind of like running. We just start going and moving, and our legs do what they want, and we run. Some people run one way, some people run another way. When we jump on the machine, if we don't have any training, we're just going to do whatever our body thinks it's supposed to do and whatever makes sense coordination-wise for us. Now, if we get training, we can then learn that the rowing machine, surprisingly, not an upper body exercise. I would say that about 90% of the people who come into my normal physical therapy clinic who use the rowing machine, they get explained to me as being an upper body arm workout. When in reality, it's actually mostly your lower extremities, your legs. It is your quads, your hamstrings, and then your core, then your arms. So if we just jump on and we don't know anything, then we might never have learned that if no one taught us that. If no one tells us, hey, this is really about exploding and pushing with our feet and our legs, then maybe we're making it just an all-out arm exercise. So really, the training and learning the actual proper form can benefit you a lot. Now, the other aspect that seems to be a lot more prevalent in terms of creating injuries in regards to all the research that I have found is about overtraining. And when we jump on, we think that we can go for like an hour. And I like to relate it kind of to running. When we go running, if I go running for an hour, I can tell you at minute 10, I'm probably out of breath and done. But on the rowing machine, you can change how much you're pushing. You can change how fast you're going up and down the slide. You can make it more like a jog or a walk and go for a longer period. But if it's a movement that I've never done, I'm using muscles in a way that I have not used them before, regardless of if you're using proper form or not. If you are doing something new and in a new way, you're like, oh, this is easy, I can just stroll around. If I go row on a lake, just like in a little rowboat, and I do that for an hour, I'm gonna be sore or I might hurt myself because it's something I haven't done. Now, if we jump on, get our rower and go, oh, I wanna hit my 30 minutes or an hour of activity multiple times a week, and I'm doing that repetitively over and over and over again, and I haven't done any strength training or I haven't worked up my tolerance to be able to do that, then yeah, I might get hurt. And a big part of what I find in the research is actually doing additional strength training off of the rowing machine, because the rowing machine, while it works a ton of muscles, it doesn't work muscles in all the ways that our body actually needs them to do things normal and to do activities in daily life. So in essence, it really is a mix of overtraining and having some proper form. The key is that proper form depends a little bit on your body and how you row and how your body is. What is your range of motion in certain areas? And that's the stuff that I love to talk to you guys about, which is why I'm really hoping to ramp up some videos. I just still have this giant trailer right here in my garage gym, making videos to do really, really difficult. So I'm sorry. We are hoping to get this out of here, but clearly that didn't happen yet. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Basically, it's a mix of, I'm a physical therapist, this is what I see and do and know, and there's not a lot of information out there, so I would love to be able to help those who need this information. But at the same time, if you are new to rowing, please, watch some videos, get somebody to come watch you. Reach out to me and I do video recordings where I'll literally watch you row and give you a video feedback. So get some form help if you're uncertain, as it can be extremely beneficial. I record myself and analyze myself at least once a year when I get on the rowing machine. So it's something that's nice to do to check in on and start learning right from the get-go. So if you stumbled across this video, I am happy that you are here. Please know that rowing can be a safe and great and fun sport. You just need to, kind of with anything, just start and have somebody teach you or binge a bunch of videos and see how it goes. If you start to feel any aches or pains, please reach out, please look up videos, do some research. But really, rowing can be easy and it can be fun. So I hope that I didn't scare people away from rowing, and thanks for being here. Please let me know if you've got questions. I'll try and make a video like this one, and have a great day, everybody. Happy rowing.